As international tensions rise, the United States Civil Defense Corps must consider new ways to alert people of danger. In Chicago, many air raid sirens were put in place to warn citizens of upcoming and imminent attacks. December 7th, 1941. A day that lives in infamy. The day of the Pearl Harbor attacks. A deadly strike against the U.S. As a result, President Roosevelt has no choice. In the months after the tragedy, the U.S. is forced to join the Second World War. In February of 1942, the Chicago Daily Tribune would release an article stating that an air raid siren system was being put in place. Early plans sought to have the entire city covered. Most sound power would be derived from fire alert sirens already put in place on many of Chicago's fire stations. On June 24th, a major test took place of a newly created siren model on the Outer Drive Bridge. Come August, the Tribune reported that 5 more new sirens were going to be installed on the city's north side. The first 3 of these 5 sirens were developed by Bell Laboratories and would utilize gas engines developed by the Chrysler Motor Company. These would become some of the first Chrysler Bell Victory sirens ever in service. When mounted upon 3 different fire stations, these sirens were projected to have 2 to 2.25 miles of coverage from their locations, but could be heard up to 7 miles away. In addition to the Chrysler engine sirens, 2 steam whistles were also ordered. These were built by the Foster Engineering Company. These units would run off of 150 pounds of steam power, which would need to be available all times of the day. Within 2 years, 20 Victory sirens and 23 steam whistles were installed across Chicago. Once sound coverage grew, guidelines for sounding sirens were agreed upon. Should an attack happen, each siren would give off a fluctuating attack tone. During this sound, civilians would find their nearest shelter and take cover. Though these sirens were made for the intent of public safety, one would prove to be able to cause more harm than good. During a scheduled evening test in October of 1942, a Chrysler Bell atop a height and ladder company 36 malfunctioned. On the roof of the building, the siren's engine burst into flames. 2 firemen, by the name of Ray and Julius, made a brave decision and climbed the platform to put the fire out. Unfortunately, they were unsuccessful. With the deadly risk of staying near the siren rising, the men jumped from the platform back onto the roof. Soon enough, other firefighters rushed to the scene and were finally able to subdue the blaze. Both injured men, however, were rushed to local hospitals for slight burns and one with a broken hip. Though neither were mortally wounded, the siren that nearly killed them would have reached the end of its own life after being burned that night.